Alex, JT?
I reckon he might be looking on the forehand underneath the yellow and blue bowl of at the back, if you look at the screen, and gets a jack down the back, might even take his own bowl or one of them through as well to bring it into the count as well. So I think there's a fair chance that might be the shot on. Alternatively, he's got to try and split the gap, sort of get around the short one, get underneath the white one on the backhand, you know. And
that's the shot I favour, but there's a very good reason why they're out here and you have a Commonwealth Games gold medal and I don't.
Been known to get it wrong a few times, I don't.
Well, that's the thing. We would rather you say something and get it wrong than not say anything, and nobody has any idea on what to do, JT, so keep it up, we love it.
It looks like he's going backhand.
It does. I know that's going to be there, isn't it?
I don't think he likes it.
Of course, Alex only arrived in the country maybe 7 or 8 days ago, so a little bit of a ribbing from your better-looking brother, JT, as well, saying you get it wrong all the time.
I was waiting for that. He did say he's going to get on and heckle me, so let's face it, he's sitting home doing nothing. So,
yep. So one more to Yarraville Footscray. It's a 4-zip after 3 ends.
And they're leading 10-8 on the overall so far.
We have our first heckle from James Whitehead just coming through. Jimmy decided to join us on.
The fact they're heckling us, Tone, means we must be doing a half-decent job, you know, so.
I was actually going to go the other way, so I'm happy to take B grade. I see that as a compliment. Could have been D, E or F quite easily.
Jimmy doesn't know any letters past B in the alphabet, so.
True. Our lovely friends at Murrumbeena Park Bowls Club just giving us a little pep back up. We do appreciate it after Jimmy's little clip. What a great opportunity here, JT, though, when you look at the shot selection and the process for working out what shot for young Tyson Chromie to be able to get an education from it as well.
Yep.
True.
Yeah. No, look, fair, you know, like Tyson's obviously standing at the head with Alex and listening to Alex the way he's calling the heads. It's invaluable in what he's going to be able to learn over the next 6 to 8 weeks, you know, in terms of the rest of this Premier League season. And yeah, look, and he's one of our up-and-coming stars in the sport. You know, had a great junior career for the state, and hopefully this will just add to what he's going to learn and go forward with.
We forget he's only 18 years old, don't we? I mean, he's almost still a junior.
Yes.
Might be out of the junior ranks, but he's still like a sponge when it comes to learning these sort of things, and why wouldn't you? This Code puts in not a bad bowl, but unfortunately just kicks the jack out to the waiting Gus McIsaac bowl. Alex just calling for this one just inside that last one. You're telling me Larry is not a bad footballer in his time, JT?
So I've been told, and I hope I haven't been told the wrong thing in that one, but I do believe he was a very solid footballer back in the day. Maybe those watching at home who know can back that statement up or story up. So
from the Geelong area or Ocean Grove
area?
Yeah,
down that way, yes. Yep. He's very stiff with his last bowl, got a little bit of the jack, didn't go with it. Oh, great bowl there by Larry Donahue. Change the head up now, and Gary Ball will be heading down. Look, should be something on his backhand. He's got Richard's bowl, his teammates of the bowl on the front, on the run in. You can draw either side of it or punch it into the head. Change the head up that way. Little stiff as the bowl goes through the hole. And Lukey Way has backed up my statement before. 3-time best and fairest at Queenscliff Footy Club, and according to Luke, controversially rubbed off a 4th. So yeah, solid footballer. I reckon Gazzy will be backing the weight off a little bit. He probably doesn't need to be as quick now. Tyson will be looking to correct here. Little movement of the jack, sit the bowl. Pidge awfully close to getting to the jack, but also awfully close to clipping his closest one out of the head too, Tone.
There's no reward without risk. Shouts of brilliant Tatty. Of course, Alex Marshall's nickname is Tatty.
Yes. Yeah, Pidge will be looking to play a similar bowl, marginally narrow. Favourable result for Pidge. It was roundabouts. I think if and if you look what Tyson's indicating to Alex, it's a little movement, nice solid draw. If anyone's capable of moving the jack 6 inches, it's Alex Marshall, and it might be a nice handy count here.
See what Tatty can do. It's going to have to get down from there. A very, very good effort. He does make it look very easy. Paul Carlisle just asking, has Alex Marshall got Aero or Henselite? He has made the move to Henselite. In a big announcement from Henselite today that they've signed the great Alex Marshall to their stable. So well done to Henselite.
And they've won their first 10, so they're having a bit of a chat. Obviously, strategy-wise here, Tony, they're probably working out what length they want to play.
Yep.
Said Yarraville Footscray winning the first 3 ends.
So 1 to Deer Park was the signal from Tyson Chromie, who looking after us on the commentary desk very, very well. He was brilliant last week. Keeps his head in the game, but looks after us at the same time. Makes it very easy for the stream. Of course, tonight's stream brought to you by the Moama Bowls Club. If you are ever looking for a place to go for a game of bowls, whether for a holiday, for dinner, or a couple of quiet drinks or a coffee, Moama Bowls Club is the place for you.
One of the best clubs in the country, Tone.
Yep, and great supporters of Bowls Victoria, and indeed many of the clubs in their area. Get the opportunity to be up there for a few events this year. Champion of State Pennant and the region sides,
yes.
both be held at the lovely Moama facility. And for those that haven't been there, it's an absolute cracker with a couple of undercover greens and a couple of outdoor greens. All the facilities you could possibly want at the lovely Moama Bowls Club. Razor Ray Pearce has joined us on the stream, saying how good is it for this young fella leading for the GOAT. Absolutely spot on. And lovely to have you on the stream, Ray Pearce, one of the gentlemen of the sport.
Ripping guy. I have the pleasure in a couple of weeks' time, Tone, to coach him in the BPL.
Again?
Yes.
They have signed you up for a second time.
Well, our record together was pretty good there last year. We made the finals, so I think that's part of the movement, you know. Obviously, in all honesty, you know, a couple of the WA guys couldn't come over, which is unfortunate. It's very sad for Pete Harris and Christina, who are in that side, you know, but we'll hopefully do those the Perth Suns proud while we're in the BPL.
Yep, still issues with border closures in WA, making it very difficult for movement in or out of the state. So that'll be a great opportunity for you, JT, and any time you get the opportunity to spend some time with Ray Pearce, I think would be well worthwhile.
And Cody Packer and Dawn Heyman.
Correct. Talent everywhere. Of course, that BPL is being played at Moama Bowls Club.
Correct.
Gonna say it's the week after next.
Correct.
So Richard Kopsowicz. Just falling victim to that headwind. Won't be the only one doing that today.
Jimmy, I'm aware of the final you're talking about. Sachi's joined us in the broadcast tonight, watching from home, and yeah, Sachi and I played at the same club together for a couple of years, Tone, and he's playing for Croydon now. He's back playing bowls, which is fantastic to see. And he gave me a touch-up in one of our club singles finals there one year, so not embarrassed by that.
No shame in that.
He's won a state fours back in the day, Sachi.
Relatively good last week as well, so we see Yarraville holding 2 here. Still a pretty open head, plenty of bowls to come. So we see the left-handed Tyson Chromie.
One of the smoothest deliveries out there, Tone.
Hard to tell from Alex there whether or not that
I'd say
changing in any way.
Two down looking at the head, but well weighted bowl by Tyson.
Glenn, the BPL will be live streamed. It is a Bowls Australia event, so this is only me going by what's happened previously. That generally it's live streamed during the day and then on Fox Sports at night time. So that is off the top of my head. Don't take it as gospel, but I'm pretty sure that'll be right.
If you check out their socials, Tone, I think they did the Facebook live stream schedule there the other day. And, yeah, and obviously we get hours of coverage Tuesday through Friday next week.
Yep.
The following week, sorry.
Ball from Gary Ball, draws a low 5 and some applause from Pidge. 𝗣𝗿𝘁 gone the jumper early. There he is. Well, no real danger of rain. It's not exactly warm here.
I don't reckon I'll be far from pulling the hoodie on, Tone.
No, when stationary, it can get a little cool when that sun disappears behind a cloud. Speaking of cool, Mark Casey having a good tussle over there. Last week had a victory by quite a margin, but 4-2 against Nelson Ball. We expect that to be a very good match.
Hugely awfully close there. He's a bit unlucky. He didn't get a bit more movement of the jack. Could have made 3.
Alex just apologises for that one. Bit narrow out of the hand. Not quite enough steam. So holding 2. Brett Marnie trying to add one more. Stalking it hard. Not sure it's going to have the legs. A good effort. Good effort. Shows how deceptive the angles can be. Tice pulls one out but wants to measure for second. So. Nope. That is 2 more to Yarraville Footscray. They now lead 6-1. We've played 5 ends in this 21-end match.
Overall's now 16-12, Tone, in favour of Yarraville Footscray.
Out to a good lead early. Deer Park pegged them back a little. They've now put a little bit of a buffer on again. 16-12 as JT says. So JT, do you remember who you've picked in the rest of this round's matches in the tipping competition? Altona Clape.
I think I went for Altona.
Altona there. Bundoora RSL v Croydon.
Bundoora.
No fly-ins for Bundoora. That didn't sway things. Lilydale v MCC.
I actually think I went... I have this gut feeling I think I went Lilydale. Oh, did I? My memory's gone. Jimmy's sitting at home. Surely you remember, mate.
Yeah, Jimmy will let us know. Well, I tell you what, it'll actually be an interesting match. I ran into 𝗣𝗿𝘁, who one of Victoria's best players, and he is a bit injured. So I don't know whether he'll be at 100%.
Yeah, okay.
And Brad Marin, as we referenced earlier, he's in isolation due to some COVID in the household. So it may be slightly different MCC team that we normally have.
I know I went for a couple outside chances, or those perceived outside chances based off where I'm sitting in the tipping. So
you have to make up spots.
Yeah, I'm not going to just sit around and pick the favourites if you run 4 behind Jimmy for the rest of the year. So
this is true. Thank you, Jack Woodhouse, for answering that. Yarraville Footscray sitting 4th on the ladder. So JT, Melbourne and Mentone.
I definitely tipped Melbourne, although I think Jimmy brings them back a little bit. And I believe the great Michael Wilkes is playing both games this weekend, yes.
The beauty of the double headers, good value for the fly-ins. They are a very different team, Mentone, when they have their fly-ins. And all appear to be a good bunch of fellas too. Having streamed a couple of their matches this season, has been good fun. Thank you, Jocelyn, just correcting the James Pearce, Wayne Roberts. So it's usually my fat fingers that mash the buttons a little bit.
Yeah, it's me tonight. Haven't used it for a while, so I'm just catching up and making sure I don't do the wrong thing. And in all that, working all that sort of out, we noticed on the next rink across Tone, Yarraville Footscray got a very handy 4 there, and they've now taken the lead on that rink.
Yep, down 4-2 to up 6-4. And Richard Copperwitz just puts in a lovely bowl there to take shot. He's out at Brighton Bowls Club today, JT, for a meeting, and saw Disco, Aaron Wilson out there, looking very healthy.
New father.
New father, who tells me Jamie Lee's back into bowls already, so well done to her.
Well done. Very accomplished bowler herself.
Incredibly accomplished bowler. Brian just saying conditions are looking a little tricky. They are. It is blustery. This Pidge saying it worked out all right.
Yeah, the way the head's setting up. I mean, it's easy sitting from the sidelines, as you know, Tone, but it looks like there's a you know, Tice can afford to be arriving, can be tight and get onto the bowls, jack movement. There's options there.
So on the left-hander's forehand, as you say, JT, being tight's not too much of a drama. It's not a terrible line. It's not just duck under a little. Piers just asking Gary Ball to change over. Gee, that's swooped in quite nicely.
It's a good position there too, because that's where the Deer Park bowls are.
Exactly.
And that's where they want the jack going.
Yeah, it blocks up that one nicely. Tice gives himself a little angry slap on the thigh. Not too happy with that one. Alex Marshall, of course, does exactly what he should do as a skipper. And goes over and says, don't worry about it, mate. No big deal. Gives him a pat on the back.
Yeah, good positive body language there, Tone. Good trademarks of a good skipper.
Nobody intends on doing a bad shot, do they?
Exactly.
There's no use getting into them about it. As we see, the Casey clan has just joined us. Teresa taking out Wife of the Year award with that present for Mark's 40th birthday. Those who haven't seen. Managed to snaffle a new Mustang for his 40th birthday. Wowee. Wind just blowing a couple of things off the desk here, so yes. It is every now and again picking up quite hard. So, as if the game wasn't hard enough already. Alex with arriving weight is bang on target.
Bowl.
Pushed it through. It's going to be very close. We see on the replay this one with a good 6-8 foot of weight. Through and in. It's got the Gary Ball bowl mixed in with a 𝗣𝗿𝗁 Chromie bowl. So a favourite shot to 𝗣𝗍𝗁, but
no, Tyson indicated it was.
Nope, there you go. Better eyes than me, JT.
It looked like it went to Gary's and then flopped back off it again, so.
Pitch is just not quite turning back far enough. So what does Alex do here, JT?
I'm not sure he's playing a shot, Tane.
It's pretty hard to make anything else out of it, isn't it?
No, yeah.
I'll put it in your pocket call.
Yep.
Yep. They have done so they'll take one. Everyone agrees. They still trail 2-6 and on the main board. That'll put it 13-22. Not a bad way to spend a Friday night, JT. Good crowd here, even though it is slightly windy, slightly cool. 𝗣𝗍𝗁, of course, with the issues they've had with their covered green, with some storm damage, they've taken the opportunity to bring some seating out from that area and brought it out to the outdoor green. So if you are in the area and looking for something to do on a Friday night, 𝗣𝗍𝗁 Bowls Club, I'm sure, will make you feel right at home. 𝗣𝗿𝗁 Chromie puts in a very handy opener, gets the thumbs up from his brother.
Much better from Code the last couple ends, Tone.
Yep. Mark Casey plays a bomb on the Rink next door. Needs that to stay up. It will. I don't think Coves will be overly pleased with that one. Not a bad home for Larry Donahue. Obviously wants to be past the jack is the main aim.
Well, I've made the move, Tone. I've put the jumper on.
There's nowhere else to go from there, JT. So I'm going to hold out as long as I can.
I'll send for a heater in about an hour's time.
Might be the way to go. Richard just asking how far short his last one was. He's a tall man, and he sort of signal was a head high, and I reckon that's about right. About 6'1" or 2, I reckon.
Everyone's batting a little bit with this hand this way, Tone, I reckon, with the wind coming in from that end. And as I said, we said earlier to those who are joining us, not from the start, this particular side of the green, if you're looking at the screen that we are, on the left-hand side is probably a 1.5 seconds slower than the other side. And so it's a bit of a battle for those that are actually playing that hand.
Simon just asking who the third is for Yarraville Footscray. That's 𝗣𝗿𝗁. So we've got Gus McIsaac as lead, Richard 𝗍𝗿𝘁 for Yarraville Footscray as 2, 𝗣𝗿𝗁 as 3, and 𝗍𝗿𝗁, Pidge, as we'll probably call him throughout most of tonight's game. Of course, they're up against 𝗍𝗿𝗁 Chromie leading for Larry Donahue, Tyson Chromie, and Henselite's latest star, Alex Marshall, announced today. And JT, it has taken us 6 ends into the match, but you've got your first ribbing about kangaroos.
Oh, I expected it to come. Like, people have got long memories, and it's one of the most ridiculous comments I've ever made in my life. So, yeah, I'm surprised it took 6 ends.
Yeah, well, if the viewers didn't know, I was going to do it. I had that penciled in for the 7th end. Alex Marshall just calling Tyson Chromie down to have a look here. Obviously sees something that maybe thought Tyson might not be able to see from the mat end.
Jimmy, the goat versus the kangaroo. Well, are you calling Pidge the kangaroo? You should have used a Pidge emoji there, Jimmy, if you were actually smart and intelligent.
So Tyson Chromie has his instructions now from Alex Marshall.
Pretty close here. I was about to say, either no, Tyson didn't get the shot, then he might have made it easier for Alex, but the red and white bowl of 𝗣𝗿𝗁 flopped back over again, so it's probably hidden it.
They're riding a line now, aren't they? Not a big feature of Alex Marshall's game, the drive either.
No, he plays nice firm weight without actually having to drive.
Yep. Thank you, Jocelyn.
I'm on fire, Jocelyn.
Chris loves saying we've got a goat, a Pidge and a panda. Who's Panda?
Oh, yeah, there is a guy there that's got a nickname. Yeah.
Let us know, Chris, if you can let us know who the panda is. good to see your younger brother Geordie coming to your rescue every now and again, JT. He's not always going to rig you.
I still think that was a backhanded slap.
I don't know. Oh, wow.
What a bowl by Alex. He's a bit stiff not to get even a better result.
Yeah, and that's, as you say, that firm weight without going a full-blooded drive. Almost always gives him the opportunity to keep his bowl on the rink. And that one is on the line, so just in, but Gussie liked it.
Yeah, there's probably 3 there, Tone. Still chances. I reckon Alex will be just arriving. He's got chances of being a bit tight and landing one of those bowls. If he can get the jack back 2 feet, he's probably made 3.
That's the problem with holding 3 when Alex Marshall still has 1 to come. Having said that, Brett Marnie still has 1 to come too, so.
He's awfully close. Great bowl.
I think by that signal it does enough to be 1 up. Bowl tucks in nicely behind Gary Balls, so Pidge won't have the option to just remove that. Can obviously try and sit and stay, but doesn't want to hit the jack too far, so.
Even if he's tight under Gary's bowl, which is a red-white bowl, and flops in, that's shot. You know, and if he just slides past here, he'll get to Alex's bowl. Look, 2 feet of weight, foot of weight.
Well, that was what he played for. Unfortunately, just not quite. Gary Ball signals 1 down, but a very good effort.
Good bowl. Very good.
He's a quality player. This is a long end. This is tee to tee. Just to really test everyone out in this wind. Not a bad little opener. These two matching each other quite well. Of course, we've got Kobe Chromie, who'd be 15.
14, I believe.
14, yeah. About to turn 15, I think, pretty soon. And Gus, who's not 15.
Kobe, one of our current under-18 state players. We had the pleasure of 2 state junior championships ago watching him play off against his brother in the under-18 singles final when he was 12 and knocked his brother off in that final, which was a fantastic effort.
He did, and testament to just what a quality family they are. There was no hard feelings at all at the end. In fact, they embraced each other and said, well done, great match.
Tice did say he'd become a bit unbearable 2 or 3 days later, though.
Yes.
I know what I'd be doing if I'd got home and had that victory over my brother.
Yes, well, one day it'll happen.
No, see, you know, the one that's been commenting tonight, he's never beaten me ever, Tone, you know, so, I mean, it'll be a miracle if he ever does, so.
Good to see Michael Sims has joined us tonight. Presumably watching from Tasmania. That's the second bowl lost. Such is the difference in the wind.
I was going to say that this is the direction of the wind is going, Tone, so it's definitely assisted this weight.
Yep. Michael Sims just letting us know perfect conditions for a game down there in God's country. I'm sure it would be. Very strong state, Tassie. Some very nice clubs. Of course, we've had the benefit of having Michael and a few other Tasmanian players come over and play in our Premier Division previously. As Ryan Tainton sends a mat well off the green, I'll put it that way. We thought there might have been a bit of feeling in this, but so far relatively subdued, JT.
Yeah, I thought there might be a bit more vigour.
The Battle of the West, and of course we've had some players change and play for one club or another and move from one club to another. So far all been playing relatively according to plan.
Maybe they're a bit daunted by the live stream, Tone, you know, and on their best behaviour.
Could well be. We've actually got some really interesting dynamics out here. We've got Sarah and James Pearce playing in opposing teams. We mentioned earlier we had the balls, although Chris Ball struck down with COVID is not here tonight. But 3 balls, 3 Chromies. A husband and wife team.
I was going to say 2 Brackleys.
2 Brackleys, Winston and Victoria. A couple of loose ones there from Tice that he'd, I'm sure, like to replay.
Brandon, we think the green's roughly running about 14 seconds.
It's quite a strong tailwind going this direction. Nice bowl there from Gary Ball though, into the shot. So Alex Marshall, while he's out here, JT, will play for, in the BPL, he'll play for Brisbane.
Correct.
And I'm told in the UBC he'll be playing for Moama.
Correct.
So he'll do a number of things up in that area. A great opportunity for regional Victoria to see somebody of that calibre.
Absolutely.
And I did hear that there was a chance for him to play at one of the Golden Valley clubs.
Yeah, Kai Abram, which is obviously not that far from Echuca Moama.
Great opportunity for them to have Alex Marshall.
They were trying to get him in and play, and yeah, look, I must admit, when you have that opportunity, the clubs involved and the league involved, you know, you think they've got to take that opportunity to get him in there for that event, you know, and it probably lacks a little bit of foresight and vision, which happens sometimes in our sport. But it definitely it could have happened. It would have been great for the game in the Golden Valley.
It's not too often that you get the opportunity to see one of the greatest that's ever played and get the opportunity to have him play a match. So I would have thought that there would be a good opportunity there. Hopefully all parties can agree and get to the stage where Alex is on show.
Well, one of the suggestions you made as we talked about it earlier, Tone, was that, you know, it was Tally Group in his home game who were due to play Kyabram. You know, I'd be offering Kyabram to go, right, we'll go to you guys this year, and for the next 2 years, we'll play all our games against you guys at Tally Group now as a trade-off. You know, so for the next 2 years, you get 4 home games. You know, and yeah, I'm not sure why they didn't even go down that line of path. You know, probably too busy writing letters like sometimes those clubs do and complaining about other stuff they shouldn't be worried about. You know, when they get beaten. So,
well, hopefully they get the opportunity or take the opportunity to engage Alex to play a match for them. Alex won't be too pleased with that last one though, just coming in short. You see the Gary Ball red and white bowl. Pitch looks like he's just hanging a bit too far out. So full tee to tee the last end. Yarraville changing it up. So they're in about 3 yards on the mat line and the jack's on the tee. Probably gone slightly longer than called by 𝗣𝗿𝗁, but nonetheless shorter end than the one before, and of course going into the headwind.
Pretty sure on the rink next door, Tone, that Deer Park boys are holding 4 or 5 there at the moment.
Nelson Ball with the drive to come. May have
still looking like 4,
out, but it's probably still 4. Yeah, they probably need that on the Casey rink there.
Well, for the overall, you know, 11 down at the moment. Something needs to change.
So we'll keep you updated as Mark Casey tries to add one more. Needs to run. Taking out 1, 2, 3. Over on that Mark Casey rink.
5.
Well, there you go. That will make a big difference. They were down 5-8. They'll be up by 2. Of course, that margin, as JT says, was 11. They'll pick it back to 6. Start to put a little scoreboard pressure on this one tighten up.
Good correction there by young Cobe.
So Green running about 14.5. As we see we're into a headwind this way and a tailwind the other way. So interesting times. Richard just seeking some clear instructions from his skip. Very, very deliberate setup. It's an identical pre-shot routine every time.
I reckon a bit of momentum swinging back here for Deer Park. So the 5 for Mark Casey's Rink, and I feel like Ryan Taten's got 3 or 4 at the moment as well, with his last bowl to come as well on this rink.
Certainly is very handy with those half yellow, half blue bowls to be able to spot the Deer Park bowls.
Should be more of it, Tone.
100% there should be, JT. Bowls in club colours makes sense every day of the week.
Murray Down's a navy blue and yellow, and that's what I use when I play Pennant.
Yep. Just difficult when you play against someone else who's yellow and navy blue. But
there's no one up that way, at least anyway, for us. So 4 on that rink.
So that'll bring it back to 3 shots, the difference. As Ryan Taten calls for a mid-green conference with his charges. Still see quite an open head going back this way though, JT.
Yes. So most preferring to play the right-hand side of the screen, this direction, based off the fact that the left-hand side's probably a second half slower, but sometimes you just need to get it over there.
So we see Gus has reverted to the hoodie. Richard's reverted to the jacket. I don't know whether Larry started. I don't think he started in a hoodie, but he's got one on now.
Pidge is still in just shorts and shirt.
Twice has finished narrow on that direction a couple of times. Alex just asking for an extra metre, effectively trying to play to the green bowl of Gus McIsaac. Straight out of the hand. Tice does not like it.
Wide.
No trouble with the extra metre.
The other thing to consider in the next probably half an hour, Tone, is as the sun disappears, is the green speed will start slowing down. And in a game that's played at night, sometimes who adjusts first can sometimes be a big winner.
It's that awkward time of the evening, isn't it? We're getting close to it now. Pidge likes it. I think it's going to have done enough to get in for second shot. But this is our round 11 match of the 2021-22 Metropolitan Premier Division, brought to you by BCIB Insurance. Fabulous supporters of bowls and provide insurance coverage as a broker for many, many bowls clubs all around the land.
It's awfully close here, Alex.
That's exactly the shot he called Tice to play. Unfortunately, just skipped through, but
Tice indicated one.
Good enough for one. Of course, both skippers still have one to come. What's the shot for Pidge here, JT?
There's obviously a lot of traffic out front, which is going to make it tricky. I'm sort of just having a look at what he's saying he's roughly going to do, but I think he might play a very similar shot to Alex, try and get down to the shot bowl on his forehand underneath the...
Yep.
There's a gap there, those two light blue bowls out either side of centre line, and try and get to the shot bowl and flop.
Well, he's cut it a little too narrow. Needs a bit of help. But through the hole and out. So Alex here holding one. It's almost a wall on either side, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Tice just signalling to us that he's not sure. So it must be very close. Was another option, but just pushes it through a little bit too far. So we'll see a measure here to determine this end. Colleen saying not good bowling from both teams. It is tricky conditions here, Colleen.
Windy.
Quite blustery wind and into a headwind in that way. So
Pace coming off the green at this time of the day.
It looks easy on the screen. I know I'm certainly a far better player when I'm commentating. So 1 to Yarraville Footscray.
We'll have to get Tyson a sponsorship from Specsavers.
Yeah, correct. So Gus McIsaac on the mat. He's very happy with that distance, almost exactly where his foot indicated he wanted it. Gus, of course, using the Henselite green XGs in a size 3. The familiar tongue out the side of the mouth as he lets it go. Might be a tactic I try, just looking at that result.
Who I'd consider the greatest sportsman ever, Michael Jordan used to do the tongue, so...
Very familiar with that, wasn't he?
Worked for him.
It did. It's Kobe Chromie's blue and yellow XG in a size 2 that's just been sent down.
Good leading there by Gussie.
Yep. Well played. Keep the doggy supporters happy. Gus has come across to the club from MCC. And a good acquisition to the team. James Pearce plays a great bowl over there. We'll get you an updated score there shortly. Certainly got
high fives all around, so it must have been pretty good.
Up. Yep. Now Richard Kopsowicz, he's also using a Henselite XG in a size 3. As the sun comes out again. Just falling in a little short.
It's 2 on that far rink.
𝗣𝗿𝘁 is playing 3 to that James Pearce rink we just mentioned that picked up 2 with what must have been a good turnaround by the cheers from the Deer Park faithful. So in that rink it is Wilson, Barry, Holt and Pearce. They're up against Galakos, 𝗍𝗿𝘁, Robinson and Roberts from Yarraville Footscray. And the other rinks for Deer Park is Spargo, Casellas, Jeffs and Tainton. They're up against 𝗍𝗿𝘁, Crayon, Dove and Winnie Brackley. Of course, on the very rink next door, we've got Peter Zedes, Tim Chromie, Nathan Bush, Mark Casey for Deer Park, up against Roger, Banks, Myers and Nelson Ball.
Winston and Victoria playing together, Tone. How do you reckon you'd go playing a competitive match with your wife?
Very good. I'd enjoy it.
That's a very diplomatic and
very much.
safe
It'd be
answer,
great
Tone.
fun. She'd be better than me, and it would be a lovely time for everyone.
I'm not allowed to even play board games at home with my wife because I'm too competitive.
I can imagine you. No, look, it's funny. They do quite often joke around and say when a husband and wife plays together in a pairs match, it's often called divorce pairs. So.
I've heard that before.
Yep. But no, I reckon my wife and I would go all right. She would be the better player, and she doesn't play, but she would be better. There's no doubt about that.
I have seen you put a couple down.
Well, we had the good fortune of playing on Australia Day in the MND fundraiser.
Correct.
We had a great day. Managed to land on the wrong side of the scorecard in the last match, but
towered up by the Echuca ladies who ended up winning the whole thing.
They did, and they were very good. They were good fun, actually. It was a good day. Pidge signals quite clearly that's 2 to Yarraville Footscray. After that last one sent down by Gary Ball. Of course, he's using an Aero Optima size 5. Tyson Chromie on the mat now with a light blue Ensolite XG size 4. Of course, Ensolite, great partners of Bowls Victoria, backing the Vic Open, which of course will be in the Goulburn Valley area in November this year. We've had the misfortune due to COVID for the last 2 years of not being able to play the Vic Open, so it's going to be a big one this year. Catherine Haldane just confirming Vic and Winnie are a lovely couple, and they absolutely are.
Correct.
Vic Brackley, of course, won on Australian Opens pairs, as I mentioned, and I reckon she would have been 17 or 18 at the time. Stellar performance. A very, very good bowlers, played in numerous state games. Alex and Tyson want to have a little mid-green conference. Jason Carpenter just saying he's surprised Case didn't bring Alex in to play 2 with Pushy at 3. Good call, Jace. Case's rink last week was, well, they had a very large victory, let's put it that way. They had Paul Dorgan, who's missing due to COVID today, but he was playing at 2. And Tim Chromie leading, and Tim played incredibly well. In fact, they all played very well with that scoreline, so...
And they're holding another 3 or 4 again at the moment. As Nelson Ball drives on that rink.
Well, he's done some damage.
Yeah, he's got rid of a few. Still 1 or 2 there in that rink. 2 it is.
Pidge doing that familiar stalk, wanting it to hang, just doesn't quite, cuts in and a little short. Still has 1 to come though. Alex with 2 is the bad news for Pidge.
I reckon he's going to play forehand. Tyson's last bowl's just shy of the shot bowl, and I reckon he look just to flop it over once, I reckon, if he can.
I haven't seen a signal, JT. I'm going to presume it's only one to Yarraville Footscray so far. That's very close for second. Punches out the Gus
he made 2 out of that
and sits in for shot. And that is why he is known as the GOAT. You see Pidge with his last. Just finds the gap.
The old saying, holes are made for bowls.
That's correct. Deer Park now hit the front, 32-30, after being down by close to a dozen. As Phil McNally says, shame you're missing the game tonight, Chris. Hope you don't get too sick. We echo those comments. Certainly don't want to see anybody getting sick, but much less Chris Ball, who would have been playing here tonight, as with a few other players that are missing. Alex looks a little wide. They do swoop late, these bowls, but I don't think that one's going to trouble the scorers. Gary Ball wants to confirm.
Two it is.
Signals over to us. Very kind of you, Gary Ball. Thank you. So 2 to Deer Park. Still trailing though, as they have been all day on this live streamed rink. 5-8. 10 ends gone. Of course, we play 21 ends in Victorian Pennant. Metropolitan Pennant, I should say.
Yeah, get that right, Tone.
Brought to you by BCIB Insurance Brokers.
Us hard ones up north, we still play 25 ends.
Well, there's not much else to do up there, is there, JT? No, I'm only joking. Promise, I'm joking.
You'll have them all come back to me next when I get back there tomorrow saying, did your boss really say that?
No, look, everybody knows I'm a staunch supporter of regional areas, being
Correct.
from the bush myself.
That's it.
I do have a bit of fun every now and again, but it's a nice little area, yours, JT. And a nice club, Murray Downs.
Yeah, no, shout out to all the guys back home. 6 sides playing tomorrow, which is all of them at home tomorrow for the last round of the year before final start. So, bit of a shindig back at the club tomorrow night after we all have a game. So
yeah, nice, good to hear. Chen Ken just asking what bowls is Sir Alex using. Sir Alex is using Henselite XGs in a size 4. A burgundy colour, which I'm going to say will be the bowls he will take to BPL for his role with Brisbane Gold.
I reckon you'll have a couple in that colour, if I know Alex. Tone?
You're spot on, JT. I actually came out here for a meeting the day that Alex first arrived, and he was testing out some Tigers and some XGs and a couple of things just to make sure that he got the right bowl for this particular surface, and I'm sure he'll do the same when he gets to Moama playing on their covered green, which is where the BPL will be hosted week after next.
Another one to Deer Park on the far rink. That game's tightened up again.
I mean, we keep saying, you know, the Mark Casey Nelson Ball rink would be a good match to stream, but By the same token, Wayne Roberts v James Pearce would be a very quality affair too. 6-7, as you say, JT. It's really tightened up. Tell you what, counting the number of Australian Open titles here would be interesting. I'm not including the commentary box, JT, before you tell me you've got a few. Well, Alan Dove, I reckon, has 3. Wayne Roberts, I reckon, has 2. Mark Casey won the singles at least.
He's won the pairs as well.
Won the pairs. Vic Brackley, we said, won the pairs. Josh Barry? I reckon Josh Barry
He's
might have
definitely won a couple para titles.
Yep.
David Holt won an Australian indoors, so that doesn't technically count in terms of what we're talking about, but he has won an Australian title.
I think Alex Marshall might have won the 4s one year, didn't he?
Yeah, I got beaten the final by him.
I didn't want to bring it up. I was a bit nervous bringing that up.
We actually won it 2 years in a row with 2 different teams. Now thinking about it.
Yep.
And Chris Balls just said James Pearce 2 Australian Open titles.
Oh, yes, of course. My apologies to James Pearce. I shouldn't have missed that. I reckon David Holt. He might have won it indoors, actually.
Definitely indoors.
Yeah. Don't know whether he's ever won an Australian Open outdoor title, but... And then, of course, you look over here and you've got, 14, 15-year-olds, 18-year-olds. I hazard a guess that there'll be more to come.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised a Chromie or 2 gets a title at some stage.
Yep. Lee Marnie won with Reece Jeffs. I don't think Reece Jeffs has won an Australian Open, but
won the Victorian Champions.
Certainly has won that down in Warrnambool, which was the it's quite interesting. It was the 2020 Champion of Champions victory, but it was actually won in 2021.
Correct.
So delayed due to COVID, and he certainly did the Victorian Champion of Champions singles. Still only a young fella himself, Reece Jeffs. He's got certainly plenty more titles left in him. Again, seeing a pretty open head coming back this way towards the road into the wind.
Good to see Damien Ritchie hasn't missed Reece. He's, Reece was in the Corangamite area last year from down that way, and Damien has just loaded up on him straight up. Good work, Damo.
Never miss an opportunity, Damo.
I reckon it's creeping into the beard too, just quietly.
Alex needing some change here.
He's got the strut up. He's generally reasonably close if he does that.
Just shy. Still signalling one. Don't know if this has the legs, does it, JT?
No.
Not a bad miss, as they say. Peter Williams making a good call. You can see Judy Nadella in the cameras. Of course, a world indoors champion. And plays in Deer Park's team. Champions everywhere. Tyson Chromie going for the jacket. So, you know when the 18-year-olds are starting to feel it must be getting a bit cool.
It's me out there tonight, Tone. I wouldn't put the jacket on. I hate anything around my wrists, so it'd be probably a sleeveless vest or something like that.
Yep. Wouldn't even think you'd own one living in Swan Hill. You don't really need one, do you?
No, not during the summertime anyway.
Yep. Cool at night time, I presume, up there, but other than that, quite warm. Oh, his Gus bowl just falls in. Rather fortunate.
We might have to send a runner to the barbecue, Joe.
Yep, it's a good idea.
Bowling Kobe.
Two good bowls from Cobes there. It's very deliberate, Richard. He waits for instructions every time. And then goes through quite a lengthy pre-shot routine. The bowl up to the eyes. Hold and hold and hold. Down, a bit of a swing of the knees, swing of the arms. And then into the delivery. And when you bowl like that,
yeah, you can't fault it.
It's hard to argue. Pitch says that's 2. Alex Marshall says great effort there by Larry Donahue, just misses. Yes, Stocky, spot on. Judy Nadella was a world indoor champion.
She could be even Australian Open champion too, don't you?
Oh, yes, well, that could be what Stocky's saying, yeah. That's a good question. Lenny Bake's just saying perhaps we should market some blankets for commentators. I think perhaps the commentators should just harden up a little bit, Len.
I don't think we're complaining yet, are we?
No, we're just being informative as we shiver. Larry playing with purpose here. Oh, absolute beauty. Removes both bowls, 2 down to 3 up. Absolute beauty. Gary Ball tracking well, sits in. Sure, it's going to be good enough for shot, but it's certainly cut a couple out. Tyson Chromie on the mat. You can see the difference in the heads going this way, JT. A much more compact
Correct.
head with the wind,
Yep.
but players have been able to adjust far better than going into the wind. As Tyce probably plays perfect weight, but just a little outside where he wants to drag that bowl back into the collection from his brother. Not a bad line coming in here from Gary Ball. Gives the jack a little nudge back to his own bowl. Sits on it as well. Lovely, lovely bowl, Gary Ball. Tyce playing with a bit of purpose here. Needs it to turn. Body language suggesting that one's not going to. Gets back to the line, but
Game's tighten up again, Tone. 36-35 on the overall. Roughly around halfway, approximately, give or take an end.
see this Tyson Chromie bowl just aiming to sit that either on the Gary Ball bowl or take the jack through to the two blue and yellows of Kobe would be even better.
Yeah, if he can move it 18 inches, 2 feet, it's a few there. And that's why I reckon Pidge would be trying to get there and change it up a little bit.
Yep. Well, with that little walk, it really didn't want to move the jack too much, but I don't think he's moved it.
No, I still reckon it's 2.
2, not 3?
It's hard
hard to tell from this angle where we're sitting, but we'll call it 2.5 and we'll adjust at the end.
Doesn't change the shot. The only thing is it makes it harder for Alex to get the jack only 2 feet now. He's probably got to play a bit firmer weight, but
Tyce calling for it to turn. Larry Donahue just getting a leg in the road.
Yeah, he did do it.
And that is why he has those 4 letters after his name, GOAT. Draws a high five from 1, 2, 3 partners. Mark Casey comes over from a rink over and whacks a high five in there for good measure. Absolute bomb of a bowl. Jack goes through. And I say there, holding 2.5 now too. Let's put some smiles on the faces of the boys. Well, he got the hole, which is what he wanted, and he has cut it back by favour. It still looks to be 1 to Deer Park. Of course, Alex still has a bowl to come.
Still chances here, Tone. Looking at the head, the bowl that's... Looking at the head, what they're looking at is actually the two bowls that are joined to each other. Gary Ball's red and white one, and the blue one there. You could attack. It'd actually nearly get all of them. At least the red would take their closest one out as well too. So I reckon that's what he's looking at.
Yep.
So that plant's on.
And if Jack comes back, they've got plenty covered back there. So.
Well, yeah, some options there.
They're having a good talk about it, good think about it. And this is what makes a good team. So we just ask the players to move. Obviously studying this intently. So the shot bowl is theirs already. The question is whether or not they can turn one into two or three or four. Slight peek at the master board as well. The bigger game that's always in play.
The other option.
Tony's just draw. Beat that wing bowl. That's probably the closest of Yarraville Footscrays, and add another if he doesn't like the danger shot.
Must be hard when you're Alex Marshall to decide what to do, given you know you can do anything. Well, I take one out. I don't think there'd be too much change after that.
No, I think there's a chance it's 2 or 3 still.
Alex's.
Yeah.
Yep.
Two it was. Just joined some hospitality of the club too, Tone. Sausage to warm us up. Got you with a mouthful, so you can't talk at the moment.
Well, I had the salad, JT, so I don't know what you're talking about.
If anybody wants proof, I'll take a photo. Going this way, into the wind, this length would be actually a very tricky proposition. Just saying, Tone. Near pit to pit into the headwind, it's a tough proposition.
Yeah, they're certainly doing it the hard way tonight, aren't they? Every bowl on that one side of the rink. And that one may not even be on the rink.
Give you an update, Tone. According to our great technician, Brad, he says we might have just already got the record for number of live viewers. So
it was only a matter of time when we put Jimmy Whitehead on the bench. I mean, it was only a matter of time, really. Of course, our stream brought to you by Moama Bowls Club. A record for them as well.
Now I don't know what he's worse at, commentating or playing bowls, Tone.
Don't dent Jimmy's confidence too far.
I'm sure there'll be a witty comeback at some stage.
There will. Like I said, he might be tucked up in bed. So I tell you who has joined us on the stream though is Barry Lester. Barry Lester's certainly got some Australian Open titles. Got one with you.
Yes. The Budgie, Tone. You don't like that one, but it's my favourite nickname of his.
He's a good guy, Barry Lester. As I jokingly say, he was much better when he was full Victorian. Now he's only half Victorian, so we like him a little bit less, but if he comes back, we'd go back to fully liking him again. Probably, in my mind, has the smoothest delivery going around.
It's definitely up there.
Still some good battles here tonight. We've generally had a little blowout rink every now and again when we've streamed. We've managed to always get a good close match on the stream. Tonight's really no different there. We've got a 2-shot margin. Really hasn't been a lot in it. Although Yarraville Footscray have always maintained the lead. You never want to count out Alex Marshall and his Deer Park teammates. But across the board, we've got 4 shots the difference, 3 shots the difference, 3 shots the difference. Of course, the overall board is only 2. Yeah, good to see Jimmy's return from the under-11s cricket. Hopefully he didn't do an injury like he did when he went to the under-9 soccer, trying to act like he could still play soccer.
That's about the level of his national cricket team's form this summer.
Could have been what it is. Might have been Joe Root batting. Or Ellen DeGeneres, one of the 3. And yes, Jimmy, as per your instructions, we've discussed the tipping ladder on at least 3 occasions as per the contract. We have another 3 in the second half of this good match here between Deer Park and Yarraville Footscray, the Battle of the West. Looks Marshall's just going to dip under a bit there with that one. And that won't change anything. Us lefties have to stick together, Baz, that's true. There's actually quite a number of lefties out here. Of course, Mark Hammer Casey, a famous lefty. Both of the Chromie boys, lefties. We just have a different way of doing things, don't we, Baz?
Backwards.
Here comes the Brett Marnie bowl. Looks like a better line. Sure if it's going to have enough juice for that line
dipping
though,
now.
So. Can't have one or the other.
I reckon they're holding 2 here currently, Deer Park, on this rink.
Alex on a not too dissimilar line, a little bit more juice, but still not enough. Well, Pidge corrects the weight, but not the line.
2 it is.
2 signal, no need to measure. Tyson Chromie being ever the gentleman and confirming we're aware it's 2. Yes, Gordon Thompson. Brett Marnie did play for Deer Park. Made the move over to Yarraville Footscray this season. Who are you tipping to win from here, JT? It's a question from Jimmy Whitehead.
I'll stick with me tip that I tipped on the show this week and go Deer Park still.
Lovely bowl from Kobe. He's been bowling pretty well in this match. A couple of loose ones early, but other than that, been pretty good. Alex tipping Deer Park by 16. I think Yarraville Footscray got out to a lead early. They were up by 11 or 12. So since then, you would argue there's been a 15 or 16 shot turnaround. So I think I'm going to stick with you, JT, which gives us nothing to argue about tonight. So
we never would anyway, Tone. We just see things differently sometimes.
I actually don't think there'll be much in it, though. I think there's a good bit of spirit in the doggies.
No, I tipped a close match,
yep.
And it's going that way at the moment.
Yeah, lovely shot. Pidge called that from a decent ways out, so get to him, and he certainly does that. Sits out the Deer Park bowl for 2. We saw Larry Donahue play a bomb going back this way earlier.
Needs another one now.
He does, a very similar shot in fact. Very good effort. Not quite the shot he played 2 ends ago, but nonetheless takes one out of the equation. It certainly is Barbara. That's why we love it. Quality players everywhere means we can give a quality match and a nice close one. Lance Marshall not finding this cold though. He hasn't gone for a jacket or a vest or a hoodie, JT.
Well, he is from Scotland.
True.
It's probably a tad colder over there.
Yep. Nelson Ball driving again. Just collects the wrong edge of a bowl for a result that doesn't go his way. Seen him driving a few times, which obviously means the pressure's being put on the front end.
That rink is actually in front of everybody else, and they'll be looking at the way things are going. First one's finished, don't?
Yeah, they've been nice and quick.
Which they might be feeling the cold too and just want to get off early as well.
Oh, that could be it.
Bowl by Tyson.
Always had that as the option, either get in himself or promote his younger brother's bowl. Always the good brother looking after his younger one. Carry ball, sends one away. Just not quite going to get back. Nestles on probably 3 foot behind. Gordon Thompson saying Alex has the maroon bowls because that's the colour of his football team back in Edinburgh. There you go. Thank you, Gordon. A little bit of trivia for us. Jason Queedy saying it's around 7 degrees where Alex comes from. That is probably true. Alex obviously going for some coverage. Probably finishing 2 foot from the ditch. I'm just not even sure whether this is a word, but the backest bowl, as we like to say. It's in the lawn bowls dictionary anyway.
We would definitely use that on the bowling green.
And the bowling green, 100%. Don't know whether if you opened up the Oxfords, whether or not it would be in there. Picture's all good, Pat, so that may be at your end. Oh, great effort by Pidge.
Yeah, he's had a couple of those where he's been right in the area and hasn't got the result that would go their way, you know.
So it leaves Alex the option to try and sit or remove the Gus McIsaac green bowl.
Yeah, that shot is on. Even if he, you know, gets a little jack sideways, could even bring the 2 short ones in as well.
Yep. Steve Thompson saying they use best back, which is probably a
proper English.
Yeah, slightly classier way of saying it. Thank you, Steve. We'll use that from now on as Alex plays a little block up. So Alex has the best back and the best forward, I guess we'll say. or the best front.
I'm not sure you ever want the best front one, though.
No, true, but can be a handy little blocker, although Fury may have just crossed the line a bit too far.
It's coming now.
It's coming hard. Well, it's a very good bowl.
Very good bowl.
Only worth one.
It's probably a bit stiff that the bowl went with it as well. Yep. So,
John, it may look like they're more interested in the rink next door, but at this level, the players have an incredible ability to keep an eye on all four rinks and applaud their teammates and know who played what shot at what time. It's very difficult. A mug like me finds it pretty hard to keep an eye on one rink, but these guys and girls have no trouble looking at four. I can assure you they know exactly what's going on.
And if I know the leaders in this Deer Park team, they'd be actually encouraging that sort of stuff as well. You know, getting around their teammates from all across the green.
Certainly makes you feel good when you play a good bowl and someone from two rinks over acknowledges it. And that's what these teams at this level are able to do. See again players just really struggling coming back into this breeze, and I actually don't think when Cobes let that bowl go there was much of a breeze, but it kicked up probably a foot out of the hand, and we see the result there. That's got to be 4 yards short, showing just how difficult it is into this breeze. Gus playing with a bit more purpose here, and even that is still not quite going to get there, so very tricky conditions. Brian Marshall's joined us, doing a great job. Thank you very much, Brian. Appreciate that, mate. Of course, Brian does a lot of commentary with the Gold Coast Tweed District Stream. Great correction here by Kobe. Just sits in behind. BCIB Insurance Brokers bringing you the Metropolitan Premier Division Round 11 match. This is the Battle of the West, Deer Park v Yarraville Footscray. And it's turned into a ding-dong battle. One shot the difference. As Larry Donahue steps to the mat using Henselite XGs. 7 of the 8 players using Henselite XGs in this rink. Using them relatively well.
Yeah, great bowl.
It's been pretty good tonight too, Larry. Andy Thompson says hi from Devon in the UK. Nice to have our UK friends joining us. Dermot says Taddy looks like he's off to the beach compared to the boys. Such is the Melbourne weather. I think we may have got to about 22 today, and Sunday's forecast to be 38. It's just what we live with here. Good bit of variety. Ken's joined us from New Zealand. Lovely to have you on board. And from one Ken to another, Kenny Hansen, the King of Colac. He's watching as Larry just misses. Good friend of yours, JT, the King of Colac.
Yeah, nah, indebted to that man, actually. A legend.
He is an absolute legend. You could not meet a nicer man. So just a reminder, this is the round 11 match. The matches this round all being played at 1 p.m. tomorrow. Altona v Clayton, Bundoora RSL v Croydon, Lilydale v MCC, and Melbourne v Mentone to round out round 11. Of course, this is double header weekend in Premier Division and Division 1. So matches on Sunday, Mentone v Croydon, in what's shaping up to be a very important match for both sides. We have MCC v 𝗣𝗿𝘁, Melbourne v Altona in the replay of last year's grand final. Yarraville Footscray playing banter RSL, and then Clayton v Lilydale. And just a reminder that Clayton v Lilydale match is actually being played next Friday night. Yes. Moved by agreement between the two teams. So Moama Bowls Club bringing you this stream tonight, and the match on Sunday, the grand final replay of Melbourne and Altona. As Tice drops one in a little short. Faye Clark cheering for Sarah Roger. She's been playing pretty good as she just lets another one go now on her rink. Finishes about jack high. It
was a big end by Sarah and Rink last end. They got a 4-tone, so that match is now 15-all.
Yeah, swung the momentum there. That we're behind a little bit early, and then the Mark Casey Rink picked up a couple of numbers. So Yarraville's got one back to get it back to level, as you say, JT. So Brett Marnie now on the mat. Nice and quick on the mat, which is good to see. Navigate that hole. Needs to run at the end. Doesn't look overly pleased. Pidge just finding a little bit of leftover chalk on his bowl, removes that so there's no confusion later.
Just want to remind everybody you got to touch the last 10-tone.
I actually wasn't sure what it was. I've never seen chalk on my bowl, so I wasn't sure what that was doing. But
Alex is just looking to clear those green, but he, as I said, that hand in particular on that side it's troubled everybody.
It has.
Even when Pidge and Alex walked past each other, there was the look of each other like, it's a tough hand.
Pidge looking to play up through his last bowl, go around it, or bring in Richard's bowl. Either are good options.
Having a look at it.
Tice just signalling very quietly, one down. So pressure on Alex here. Tongala Bowling Club got a big game tomorrow against ladder leaders Echuca. First versus second. That'll be a good one.
The Campaspe playing area tone.
It is. Some good bowlers up that way, that's for sure. Nice part of the world. Good things come out of Echuca, JT. Yeah, David Baker, it is really hard coming this direction. When we head back the other way with the wind, the players seem to be able to find it pretty easily, but coming this way has been difficult for everyone, even the great Alex Marshall. So we see him playing with a bit more purpose here. So they'll measure for shot. Tyson might have been measuring in hope more than anything else.
Game has swung again, Tone.
It
It's,
has.
probably the last 10-15 minutes, Yarraville Footscray's scored a majority of the ends and scooted away again. Gus, it's the way you want to lead.
We can see the difference in the first bowl when going back towards the, I'll say towards the club, as opposed to towards the road going the other way. And not to be outdone. Oh.
Brad Marin.
I'm actually glad you asked, Brad, because I do have a little tally. There's been 421 red ones, 618 white ones. Quite a busy road. Cobes needing this one to hurry.
And one ambulance, a fire engine, depending on what's coming past us very shortly, Tone.
True. As long as it's not coming here, I'm happy. Well, actually, I'm not happy if it's going anywhere, to be honest, unless it's a test run. Larry Donahue has done exactly what he wanted. Opens it right up and makes half a dozen bowls irrelevant.
Brand new game in this rink now, this end.
Almost a pairs match. Yeah, nice bowl there by Richard. He's a bit off with his first one, so good correction and a jack that was moved.
Great response by Larry. Two good bowls by the seconds after the Jacobay moved about 10 foot down the green.
Yep. Yarraville Footscray got out to a nice little lead now, 52-43.
And I reckon they're holding 2 or 3 here on the Nelson Ball Mark Casey rink too. Big bowl coming up here by Mark.
Speaking of big bowls, size 5 from Gary Ball. It's a big bowl and a big result. Ryan Tainton wants to talk it over. They don't seem that happy on that rink. Locked in a good battle at 12 all. Just picking up one. 13-12 now. Tyson with the best back. Gary Ball with the best shot and one coming.
7 and 2 ends by Nelson Ball.
It is a big turnaround. Tice sending that one just a little too wide, a little too far.
I reckon one thing, Tone, I reckon the wind has dropped just marginally.
I don't know if that's in the count, JT. Just died on its run at the very last second.
Yeah, just out, I reckon.
That's a good point, Peter. They will be good when they grow up. Little Richard and little Gary. It's not a bad track given how the last one swooped, but it's just slid through.
I reckon Deer Park need a big bowl here, Tone.
They do. Yarraville Footscray have done very well in taking the crowd out of it. Oh, Alex signalling he doesn't like it. Missed the line slightly. I imagine it's just the one.
Just the one.
Confirmed by Gary Ball. Yarraville Footscray have 3 ends in a row.
Deer Park's going to have to try and swing the ascendancy over the next 2 or 3 ends. There's no doubt about that.
Well, they're going to get to the stage where they start running out of ends, JT.
That's right. Probably only up their sleeve. The far end has still got a lot of ends to go, so it's not going their favour at the moment with Wayne Roberts leading 14-7, but there's still a score to come.
Yep.
But otherwise, all the others are on sort of 16 and 17 ends.
Gussie just missing his line slightly there. Kobe started with a good one. See what he can do with his second. Just two very good bowls. Draws a hearty thumbs up from Alex Marshall.
Great leading.
Great effort by Richard. Doesn't quite get it both off, but disturbs it a little. It's the jack a little more exposed. Larry Donahue really has been very, very good in the middle part of this match. Tucks the jack away.
Yarraville Footscray already calling for some weight here to split the head open.
I wonder if the pre-shot routine is any different when there's weight involved. Looks identical so far. Pretty much the same. Pidge likes it. Well, does some damage. Good night, John.
It's been a great end so far by Deer Park this end.
Certainly has. They've started to put the pressure on.
John might have went bed too early.
Could have done, but obviously needed a bit of a rest. See what Major Ball can do here.
Not far away, just got to drop a bit more.
Very good effort. You said the wind might have dropped a little bit, JT, and can see the evidence in this end. This has been the end they've really struggled with. Not a bad head building here. Great effort by Tice. Does give Gary Ball something to sit on though. A very similar bowl to his last. It's not going to have the steam, but track was good.
It could become a nuisance bowl too now for his own team.
Oh dear.
The green speed, look, we reckon it started around 14 and a half, but it's probably dropped a little bit too with the night air. And definitely this way, the way we're playing right now, is definitely slower than the other way with the headwind.
T-Bone just asking who wins from here, JT?
Well, we made the call earlier that Deer Park, and it wasn't a great call by the way the scores are at the moment, but it's the way I tipped them, so I'll stick with it and live and die by the sword of what I predicted.
Yeah, well, look, I'm in the same boat. I don't think I can change my tip, although if you were a betting man, you'd be pretty nervous given 𝗣𝗿𝘁 now 11 odd shots behind. Just not up. See what Alex Marshall, MBE, can do.
In a good country, it's all on his speed now.
He's got some there to help. Pidge just missing his line there. He won't be happy with that one.
Interesting to see what this status is. Because if they're not in, Alex might play that shot to get the green out. But
Tyson's just signalled they're holding 2.
I reckon he'll just try and draw if they're holding 2 and get another one in there.
He just has to come off his own bowl, doesn't he? And rest in there. I'll make it sound easy.
It's always easier sitting from the sidelines.
Yep.
He's playing that shot.
Oh, wow. What an absolute bomb. Interesting to see what that's worth. And how's the control weight, JT?
Yeah, even hung around and stayed in the count.
1, 2, 3, 4.
It's looking like 6 to me.
Asking if he can move it. Yes. There's 5. Now we'll swing the tape around and see if we can improve on 5. Alex Marshall just showing why he's considered the GOAT.
Six it is.
Wow, what a turnaround.
Well, we did say they needed that. And that was an underestimate.
So Alex calls the charges into, wants to have a little chat after that. I think he's about to say, we've got this if we stick together as a team. Chris Ball. What a shot from the great man. You can't give him a sniff. And really that's 100% spot on. It was a hard shot. Had to play it centimetre perfect. All of a sudden, JT, that 11 shot margin.
Well, when you get a 6, it's halved pretty quickly, and a couple of other rinks got a last couple ends as well too, so it makes a difference. That's why you're always in it in a Pennant game, you know. Gussie will want that one back.
Well, this is a real turnaround, isn't it? We're getting some quite good heads going towards the clubhouse and no good to the road. Last two ends, we've switched that right around.
We've mozzed them.
Yep. Commentators curse. And quite a large pendulum motion. Larry Donahue. He is going to have no trouble getting the trip. Needs it to stay now. Just a touch long.
Jocelyn, yeah, the Pierce Roberts rink has definitely had one dead end. Which probably doesn't explain why they're 2 or 3 ends beyond everybody else, but they definitely had one from memory.
I think I've only seen one over there, JT, so I might just have a couple of slower players or talking tactics quite a bit.
Could be part of Yarraville Footscray's game plan. You know, sometimes the rink that's leading, they try and slow down so they're the last one to finish. And you usually get this counterbalance from the opposition's best rink too, doing the same thing sometimes, don't?
Yep, can turn into a bit of a stalemate as to someone just play. A bit of a loose end from Larry. He's been very, very good. He won't be happy with those two. Richard with this familiar pre-shot routine. He's pretty good with his first. Needs to add a couple of feet. Telling it to get out. It's actually going to cut under. And still be not too far off second shot. Like saying weight was good. Just needs to adjust the line.
You might have heard the bit of the roar in the background. Mark Casey played a very good bowl over in the next rink.
Collection of high fives afterwards too. Alex calling Tyson up to come and have a look. So that's the Richard Kopowich bowl, the white one directly on the centre line. Got to get around that. There is room there. Tice maybe a little wide, a little heavy. Stays up. It's my new favourite term. That's the best back.
Yeah, let us say back is tame.
Well, it's not a word for a start.
There's many words we use in the bowling green that probably aren't real words.
Yeah, I don't think we should use any of them tonight. Major ball needs to sneak around his own, but just hits it, unfortunately.
No one's just able to nail this end, eh, Tone?
Nope. No.
We've all crashed in something beforehand or
cut the head, or we've
gone
got
in the pit.
two in the pit. Alex is calling for it to slow down.
Yeah, didn't think he liked it.
Hung on the edge of the rink for what felt like an eternity. Just dropped into the pit. Tells you just how difficult these conditions are tonight.
He's the best one.
Yep, lovely bowl. Paul's joined us from Cape Town, JT. Lovely to have you with us, Paul.
Never been to South Africa, Tone, yourself?
No, I haven't had the good fortune. Certainly like to one day. Did you used to listen to Toto quite a bit? Does that count?
Don't think so.
No. So pitch still has one to come. They're holding two. I don't think he can do too much else other than just try and follow his last bowl down and dead draw it. Make three.
Yep, that's a shot.
Running after it, certainly interested. Now stopping quickly, as the bowl needs to do. My favourite's probably just gone too far. That's two. Yarraville Footscray. This one back to 14-15. Played 18 ends of 21. My math says that's three to go.
It's everyone's maths, Tone.
Yes, no sandpaper in my pockets, Brad Marin. No cheating from me, that's for sure.
As we have a dead end on the third rink in. Ryan Tayton versus Winston Brackley.
They've had a good match. They've been close.
Has been.
All night. Nice bowl by 𝗍𝗁. Nice bowl by Gus. 𝗍𝗁 still holding.
Paul Fern, very good question. Does the green change much after dark? Yeah, it generally drops pace. It can usually lose a yard or even two sometimes, depending on the green. But you know, as the sun disappears, the grass stands up, and then we lose a bit of pace in the green.
Sammy Clough's joined us as well. Former selector, and done a power of work over the years to develop and improve the ranking system. Also one of the administrators on Lawn Bowlers Australia.
Sam gives it a share to the page now. We might pick up some more viewers.
Yep, that is true. We'd appreciate that, Sam, if you're listening. And why wouldn't you take the opportunity to tune in to the great Alex Marshall? Tough conditions, but still coming up with some great bowls. The last end going back this way, where he was able to remove a bowl for a 6. Get his team back in front. Good leading by Vic Brackley, a couple of rinks over too.
Yeah, I see those.
One right on it and one very close. That's how you win an Australian Open Pairs title. So will Larry go a bit through with his first. See what the correction's like.
He's close.
Got some options with 𝗍𝗁's bowls. Or to sit off Gus's. Lovely bowl. Gary ball just sliding past. Not a bad spot to finish though. It's like Alex just calling, just play with 2 or 3 foot away. Can come up through the front too. With a backhand for the left-handed Tyson Chromie. Calling for it, turn. Just going to slip on by. Weight was almost precise.
Yeah, the weight's okay.
Thank you very much, Sammy Clough. We appreciate it, mate. The opportunity here to watch a game that has been close all night. Sir Alex Marshall. As Gary ball rattles one through, rests in for shot. So this is round 11 of the Melbourne Metropolitan Premier Division, season 2021-22, brought to you by BCIB Insurance Brokers. And tonight's stream powered by Moama Bowls Club. We've got what we're calling the Battle of the West out here. Yarraville Footscray come to Deer Park. We're having a ding-dong battle. We can see there's only 2 shots in it overall. 1 shot on the streamed rink. Tyson Chromie, his hand slide XGs. Looking to remove the Gary ball bowl. Jack's good too. Absolute bomb. Trails the Jack back to his, and he's up and about. Had options there, either remove the Gary ball, red and white bowl, or take the Jack back, which he did. Well, Pidge, Brett Marnie just not quite getting through that front wall. Still has one to come. The bad news is Alex Marshall has two to come. It's the third last end here. Crowd starting to warm to the Parkers, as they call them, Deer Park. Absolute cracker of a bowl there from Tyson Chromie, JT. Trailed the jack through. Rests on his first bowl.
Just updating the scores too, Tone. Just catch everybody up. See Mark Casey got another one next door. How many's, yeah, it looks like they're what, hold 2 or 3 on this head?
100% 2. I'm not sure whether Gus's green bowl is edging out Kobe's, but we'll find out in a second. Tyson is up and about, so I don't want to interrupt him too much. He's been very good at signalling to us.
This one will cut a few out anyway if there was.
It will. It's 100% 2 now. Lovely bowl. Julie Dossers join us on the stream. Good to see you, Julie. Of course, the General Manager down at Warrnambool City Memorial, who hosted our state championships. The 2020 version that I said earlier was played actually in early 2021. And quite a good bowler, the club champion down there, region representative. Alex just narrowly missing, but 2 more to Deer Park. They continue their charge. They now lead this rink 17-14. 2 to come, up and back as they say.
And they've hit the front again.
61-60. Some very, very good master board attendance for the home club. Straight away, very quick to put it up.
That could be quicker than us, Tone.
Well, that's not that hard sometimes, JT. Slightly shorter end this time, so this is interesting. Alex has called for longer ends quite often tonight. Maybe he feels they have him covered at the shorter ends now.
And we have another dead end on the Brackley Tate rink, so that's 2 ends in a row.
It is.
Yeah, I reckon maybe because the last time they went along this way, Tone, they struggled the rink, so they thought, well, let's try something different.
Yeah, very nice opener from Gus McIsaac. Kobe Chromie just through, finishes on the line. 2 pretty good homes there for his first 2. Gus has got a little bit of a run on here. Looks like a pretty good track. Come on, he shouts. Nice ball.
Barbara, it seems to be that the live streaming matches have always been cliffhangers this year, so it just seems to work out pretty well, and it's going that way again at the moment, which is fantastic.
Very well scripted, aren't they, JT?
I'm going to start gloating again and saying we do hold the record for the most viewers in one night, Tone. So I notice there's a bit of chatter on our work group chat, and one guy's thrown the toys out of the cot already. Can't handle it.
So let's see what Richard can do here. Currently holding 2. Nothing behind. Good roll of the 2 here is make sure you're past the jack. think that's going to come back far enough.
It's the right speed, Tone.
It is.
With those two already close as it is, him getting in there landing with that weight's, you know, the right idea.
Yeah, they've got a nice little collection out the back. So the idea is certainly right.
Not sure if you've seen, Tone, but I know the far rink has a completed end and Deer Park's got the map, but nothing's been updated on the score yet, so we believe it's at least 1 to Deer Park down there.
Yeah, we'll have to catch that one up soon, but as soon as they do update the scoreboard, we will do so on the screen.
And on this rink, they're down 3 or 4 at the moment, so... Well, they're not having a dead end on Titans and Winston Brackley's rink. There was a drive again, but this time the jack went in the pit. That could have been 3 in a row.
Yep. Not through lack of trying. So there's a big group which will be setting off alarm bells to the Yarraville Footscray team.
Yeah, but it's awfully hard to get it there, Tone.
It may be, but there's a bloke named A. Marshall that I think can do just about anything.
Yeah, if anyone can do it, there's no doubt he can.
Yep. And after the bomb that Tyson Chromie played the last end, it's not hard to imagine him doing it either. Still, Gary Ball is a very smart player. He does exactly what he should. If anything, it could have been nestled in slightly. But shows how quickly this game can change though, doesn't it, JT?
Oh, absolutely.
Gary Ball had a real opportunity there to sit one in amongst Gus's shots. You'd have Gus, Richard, Gary. We've been sitting for 5. Nonetheless, holding 4 with only 2 come does bring pressure. Alan Thornhill watching Taddy from the UK and enjoying it. Lovely to have you on the stream, Alan. Let's see what Taddy can do here. Get Larry Donahue out of the way with the camera.
Must be close.
Trying to get their attention to see if we can get Larry to move out of the way. In fairness, this is the second last end of a very close match. Just got their attention now. So the Alex Marshall shot. I don't know whether it's actually in for 3rd shot, I'm going to say. Well, Brett Marnie didn't get too pumped with that, and he normally would. So I'm going to say that's not in the count.
We have 1 rink finished. Nelson Ball and Mark Casey trying to get their last end result.
Still says 2018 on their board, JT, so we'll keep an eye on that.
I feel like it's 1 to Yarraville Footscray, but
Yep, looks that way. 2019, so that'll be a victory to Mark Casey's Rink. Alex with his last ball. Jogging down after it, very fit looking Alex Marshall. Needs it to swing hard now, it's not going to quite do it. Alex has lost quite a few kilos in recent times.
what do you reckon the county's tone? 2?
I'm going to say it's 2, but it is hard to tell from where we're sitting. So, as I said, I don't think Pidge got very excited with his last one. He's asking if there's to come back in. I don't think it's going to do it. It's going to be wide. But, so no change to the head. Tice pushes out 1. Wants to double check. So we've seen Tice do this a couple of times tonight, though. It's more a hopeful measure than a serious measure. 2 to Yarraville Footscray. They trail by 1, 16-17, last end to play.
And I feel like Yarraville Footscray is holding 2 down on Wayne Roberts' Rink at the moment, 2-tone.
Yep.
I don't know what Deer Park scored last end, but that score hasn't been updated.
No. Well, JT, we've got another cracking match. We seem to have a knack of doing it. In this BCIB Metropolitan Premier Division match, round 11. Gus just falling about a yard short.
No, we actually just might have had a dead end last end in that far end and we just didn't see it, Tone.
Could be.
Only one ticked over on the scoreboard just then. So it's back to 4 the difference.
A little toucher from Gus there, just sneaks on through. So Nino just went back to the board, JT, so 10-17 on that Pierce Roberts Rink. Looks to be what it says now.
What have I got? 10-16.
We wish we could, Brad, but unfortunately we can't get all that way across with the camera equipment. So that Rink, JT, 10-17 after 17 is what the board says.
Yep, updated.
Beautiful. So Yarraville skip away slightly again, 66-61. Richard won't be happy with that one.
We will, though, give them some coverage from afar in terms of explaining what is going on.
Yep. Back to the pattern we've seen for most of tonight, JT. Heading this way has been a bit difficult. We see a couple of loose ones there.
Yeah, first one on going this way, generally the one that wins the end. Outside the Alex Marshall bum for 6. They did have shot that end, but he just capitalised.
Brett Marnie says good chance here. Good encouragement from Pidge. Alex says we've got one, meaning Deer Park.
There's a lot of bowls are done this way on this hand.
Yep. Almost sucked into a little funnel there.
You looked at the way Gary Balls went and it ripped across the head, you know.
Some good calming words there from Alex Marshall to the young Tyson Chromie. See what someone with the experience of Gary Ball can do. Almost the same line to his first.
Interesting how this match has ebbed and flowed a bit, Tone, where Yarraville Footscray gets out, hits the front, then Deer Park comes back, either draws level or just gets the front, then Deer Park goes, or Yarraville Footscray goes again. It's happened 3 or 4 times in the match.
Tyson needs contact, doesn't get it. 3 bowls at the back will be a little bit of a concern for Brett Marnie. Wayne Turley's joined us on coverage. Thanks, Turles. Lovely to have you on the stream, mate. Hope you're going well, of course. Mr. Tweed Heads, they call him these days.
Great bowl by Pidge.
Absolute crack of a bowl. And he is up and about. As we see the replay here, Pidge stalked this from a long way out. The bad news for Yarraville Footscray is Alex Marshall has 2 bowls. And any touch on that shot bowl is going to spring the jack out to a collection of Park bowls.
Just a couple feet of weight, jack springs, 3 shots. Sounds simple.
It does. It does. And look, on an end where people have struggled to find it, really. So this is not an easy shot, even for someone of Alex's calibre.
The wind's picked up again too, Tone.
Here is the Alex Marshall forehand. Well, Not a bad miss, as they say. That clears the path for the next one. So Pidge will be thinking with the overall lead of 5. Really, it's about protection.
Another dead end, Tone.
A killed end over there, yes.
It's third and 4 ends between Tyson and 𝗣𝗿𝘁.
They played 19, so in actual fact they played about 25, but they played 19, so they've got 2 to come. Obviously didn't like the setup. Good enough to drive it out and kill it.
Surely Pidge covers those 3 bowls.
I think that's the only shot really, looking at 5-shot margin overall and holding 1 here. Pidge just getting some advice from Nelson Ball. So he's changed hands and does not want to hit front traffic. Unfortunately, that's what he's done. I don't believe he knocked that up for second shot, so position doesn't change. Alex is really playing for that 𝗣𝗿𝘁 bowl.
Yep.
Can probably hit it with almost any pace now without being full-blooded, but
he probably just doesn't want the bowl to go back with it.
Yep.
Yard of weight, probably ideal.
Yep. Final bowl of this stream match. Rattles around, but it's not going to get there, and we are going to see that as 1 to Yarraville Footscray for a drawn Rink here of 17 apiece. So we'll get the scoreboards updated, and we will just check, as JT just said, the Tyson 𝗣𝗿𝘁 Rink is having awful trouble completing an end. As they
saying that, they're still not as slow as the Pearce-Roberts match.
Yeah, that's true.
We do believe they've had 2 dead ends now, though, down in that one.
So that particular rink finishes at 17 all. We will do what we can to show you what we can from a long way away, unfortunately for us. We're effectively on Rink 1 and they're on Rink 4. So we can't get cameras to it. So we'll describe what we can. This has been an absolute belter of a match. Either way you cut it, Yarraville Footscray leads 67-61 on the master board. After a tied rink here, Alex Marshall, 𝗣𝗿𝘁 17 apiece. And an earlier finish to Mark Casey with a 1-shot margin over Nelson Ball. 20-19. Well, JT, they don't get much closer than that.
No.
And as much as the standard was a little bit up and down, along with whatever the wind was doing at the time, made it super difficult for all players. We saw some absolute belters of shots.
Just getting an update down in that far rink. Trying to see what's ticked over. Just 1 to Deer Park.
11-17 now there after 18 ends. So judging on their current pace, they've got about another 3 hours of play. Just joking. Just joking. And the Tyson 𝗣𝗁𝘁 rink, which, as Josh said, has had 3 or 4 dead ends. It's currently Deer Park holding 1, maybe 2 from a fairway away. Early days, just the leads bowls down. And that bowl from Yarraville Footscray will cut it back to just 1.
Still anyone's game, Daytona. I mean, obviously, if you're going to pick the winner from here, it'd be Yarraville Footscray, but you got 5 ends to go. 6 shots is 5 shots by our count is more than capable.
Yep, absolutely. Ken Goodwin saying what an awesome game, a fitting end being a draw. It's probably a fair comment. It's hard to find a winner out of that one. It was close all day. Yarraville Footscray are in front for a fair bit of it. Deer Park managed to claw their way back and get in front near the end. And a good draw. So the Tainton Brackley rink, JT, given there's 5 shots the difference overall, at 14 all, it's hard to see it coming from there. I know anything can happen, but they've been close all day. There's hardly been a whisker between those two.
Tainton did get a 4 on rink N9, so there has been a number once. Outside that, nearly all 1s and 2s in that game.
Yep. So just a reminder on that rink, it's for Deer Park, Spargo, Casellas, Jeffs and Tainton up against Vic Brackley, Crayon, Dove and Winnie Brackley. Of course, the husband and wife combination at bookends of that rink. The next rink over for Deer Park is Wilson, Barry, David Holt and James Pearce up against the quite experienced Yarraville Footscray combination, Galakos, Flavic, Robinson and of course Roberts. So we'll try and describe this from, well, 30 metres away.
I know Deer Park are holding shot in the Roberts Pearce rink at this stage.
Yep.
And the Brackley Taint one, I'm not sure.
Well, I actually thought Deer Park were holding one, but they just said that's better when they rock their head slightly. So either way, it's 1 shot to either team. Ellen Dove on the mat now.
Moving to Shepparton, I believe, Tone.
I did hear that actually. It should be a big loss for Yarraville Footscray. He's been there for many years. Of course, as we said earlier in the coverage, JT, I believe he has 3 Australian Open titles under his belt. Maybe 2 triples and a 4s or something in the early days, maybe.
I believe Shep Golf already got his hands on him too when he goes out that way.
Can Shep Golf get any stronger?
Probably not.
They are a powerhouse up there. And more importantly, they always look to be enjoying their bowls. Reece Jeffs following his down intently. Likes it, takes the jack through. Some high fives to go with. I'm going to say it's 1 to Deer Park, but it is a bit of a guess from here.
Jeff Robinson, very methodical, Tone.
Yep.
He's probably nearly as methodical as Richard Kaprowitz.
Yeah, wow, that is saying something. It was very deliberate pre-shot routine all the time. So that one just skirts the side of the head and gets a little wick out of bounds. Jocelyn just asking, is there a legal time when these matches need to be finished? Not really. to be honest. Obviously, we never want to see people delaying the game intentionally, but I don't think they've been doing that here. I think they've just had some difficult heads to be able to work through. So tactics galore here. So we see Reece Jeffs and Ryan Tainton talking over what the best option is. It's not a bad head over there too. 2 bowls to come for Ryan Tainton and 1 for Winnie Brackley. As Wayne Roberts moves the jack over there. And I don't know, JT, whether you know rid of those green bowls.
That's I feel like that's a 𝗣𝗿𝘁 bowl.
Okay. So that'll be a Deer Park bowl.
Don't quote me on that.
No, I think you're probably right, judging by Wayne Roberts not being too excited with the movement of the jack. So obviously got the movement that he wanted, but kicked it out to the opposition. Greg Dunn, Gary Ball hopes they finish before KFC closes. I'm glad you said that, not me, Greg Dunn.
They know each other pretty well, those two.
I can imagine. It wouldn't be the first time they'd rib each other.
One of the best greenkeepers getting around. I'll give Danny some credit. Cobram greens are always fantastic.
Yes.
I think they were advertising their peaches and cream tournament.
So Ryan Tainton on the mat. As we said, we really can't move the cameras over for a few reasons, but we will try and do our best from the angles that we can give you, which is a fair hike away. You can see the Tainton bowl coming in now. Slightly wide, slightly long, without knowing the context of that head. Don't know whether that's deliberate or not, but we'll assume it is.
Definitely one to Deer Park.
They'll still, regardless of their score on that rink, 14 apiece, they've got to make up 5 overall to get the overall win.
Saying that, 1 and N Forcer will not. It'll end up in a draw tone.
This is true.
They'll take that from where they're sitting right now.
So Yarraville Footscray having a conference on both rinks between skip and third. Just if there wasn't enough tension here. So Winnie Brackley's on the mat now. Bowl's on its way. Of course, they've got one end after this one.
Barbara, Yarraville's currently 4th and Deer Park's 1st, so it was a top 4 clash. This will definitely help Yarraville Footscray get the win and get them even more locked in.
Oh, Wayne Roberts has just played an absolute beauty and taken the jack back, but it's run into a bowl at the back and then sprung forward slightly, so there's no more bowls on that particular end on the far rink, so we'll see what the count is here, but it looks like it's a long way away. The jack sort of spat forward and sideways, so it might be quite a long measure to actually ascertain who's got shot.
I'm positive Deer Park's got shot just by the reaction of Matty Wilson.
So it's whether it's more than one, JT?
Yeah.
Josh Barry signals 2. So 2 to Deer Park. That gets a couple back, obviously. It's now 64-67. The home side trailing by 3. They still have 2 ends to play on that James Pearce, Wayne Roberts rink. And Ryan Tainton has a bowl to come here on the second last end. He's now getting some comments, some thoughts from Mark Casey. Not sure what Case's actual title is, whether he's coach or is Nathan Bush referred to as coach?
Nathan's coach. Case's title's Director of Bowls, isn't it?
As an employee, yeah, whether or not he has a title within this team. A spiritual leader, I'm sure, but certainly not a bad idea to seek some counsel from Case.
He can flash that gold thing that he's got at home.
Commonwealth Games gold medalist. World champion, Australian champion, world indoor champion. And if not, he can take him for a ride in the Mustang. So Ryan Tainton gets the instructions.
He actually threw off there.
Instruction is don't play it. So I don't know whether they got one there, JT. Did you see any signals?
No, it was definitely one.
Definitely one.
Oh, well, I'll soon find out in a
So
second.
Deer Park goes 15-14 and we played 20 ends there. So that brings us back to a 2-point ball game. Little conference mid-rink for the Ryan Tainton skipped rink. 65-67, the home team down slightly in the Battle of the West. So we'll angle this camera as best as we can. As we say, we're about 30 yards away here, so yeah, very important result, Barbara. Absolutely spot on, and not just for the first v fourth. It is a real collection from, well, basically second through to about sixth at the moment. So a win here for Yarraville Footscray would be a massive result.
Great leader bowl by Lukey Spargo there.
Yep, you'll be happy with that one. Sits about a foot off the jack. Vic Brackley a bit long with that, but still, rather be long than short.
Another good lead bowl. David Holt just about to say the same thing, I think, Tone, but he just played a cracker.
Yep.
Jack down the line.
I don't know if he loved where it finished, though.
Only probably because it might look fat. It's hard to tell from this angle, but the way Wayne Roberts is calling the head, he's asking for Jeff Robinson to arrive.
Yep. It's very hard to tell from here, and we haven't been following that rink that closely to work out whose bowls are whose, but
need like a roving Josh, roaming Josh, and with the lapel mic and.
Oh, absolute cracker of a bowl. And that is going to reef a shoulder out of a socket, that sort of high five. Great stuff. Probably best to do to your opponent as opposed to your teammates, though.
Yeah, but they're not putting their hand up to give you the high five, though, Tone.
Yeah, well, that is true. There's always that. And it is the last end anyway, so as long as they don't kill it.
Well, there's been 3 in the last 5.
True. So just a reminder, this is round 11 of the Melbourne Metropolitan Premier Division season, brought to you by BCIB. Other matches to take place tomorrow. Altona at home to Clayton, Bundoora RSL at home to Croydon, Lilydale at home to MCC, and Melbourne at home to Mentone. Watch this bowl from Rhys Jeffs come in. Lovely smooth delivery from Rhys Jeffs. Just looks to be ducking under. No harm. And of course this is a double header weekend for both Premier and Division 1. So matches on Sunday, Mentone. They're at home to Croydon. Melbourne is at home to Altona. MCC hosting Deer Park. Yarraville's hosting Bundoora RSL. And Clayton are playing Lilydale in a match that's scheduled for Friday night to complete this round. So if you are looking for something to do on Sunday, you've got options all over town, whether it be Mentone, Melbourne, MCC or Yarraville. You'll be able to see some great standard of bowls. Alan Dove playing with weight. Smashes through the head nicely, but doesn't really change the result too much. It's still
but it's
2 to Deer Park and open it up slightly.
I was going to say it was a good bowl because the way it was set up, there was no way they were probably going to draw a shot. It's cleared the junk out of the way. Not that they were that short anyway, but it has definitely opened it up for them.
They can now get at it.
I reckon what Rhys will be trying to do, well, there are probably 2 options. They get a cover, or if they can change their head up themselves first and try and tuck that jack behind a bowl again.
Haven't seen a lot of Winnie Brackley play. Is he? I mean, obviously you're skipping Premier, you've got all the shots, but is his drive one of his stronger suits, JT?
Yeah, look, I probably haven't seen him play skip at that level myself a lot. So, remember leading against him one year in region sides many years ago, Tone. So, he's definitely a handy draw bowler.
Not doing too many drives at lead, I don't imagine.
No.
Well, we'll see what happens here. I mean, look.
Well, Davey would still have a bowl to come anyway.
Yeah, Rhys sort of stopped short about halfway through that. He did not like where it was tracking. Fortunately, it hasn't really done too much damage. If anything, it's put a couple of little blockers in front.
And Wayne Roberts had a run over there and clipped a bowl out of the head, but I still feel he's down. Don't know how many. Isn't it great? We've still got, obviously we don't have the live stream break going out there, Tone, but we've still got 600 on the stream right now.
It shows how many people are tuned in when you get a nice close match. 65, 67, 2 shots the difference.
Jimmy has messaged me and said he's gone to bed not watching it, but we did let him know we're over 1,000, so.
Yeah, well, he does need his beauty sleep.
Oh.
Alan Dove playing exactly what he really needed to there to try and promote that front bowl through. Oh boy. James Pearce, as cool as you like. Crowd going ballistic, and he just walks on through going, yep, I can do this. So Deer Park still holding 2 on the Tainton rink. All bowls are done by the skippers. Nice coordinated text, Jimmy. Right, here we go. Ryan Tainton. Obviously does not want to change the head, just wants to get something in behind. Good bit of coverage. Holding 2 on the head. 2 shots down overall.
Wayne Roberts drove again, clipped the short bowl out of the head.
So I'm going to say Deer Park's picked
3.
up multiple there.
3.
3, wow. So that was the second last end of the James Pearce, Wayne Roberts. James Pearce picks up a 3 with a great bowl near the end. They're down by 1. What a match. 17 all, Marshall Marnie. Casey over ball, 2019, that's Nelson ball. Ryan Tainton currently leading by 1. And James Pearce trailing Wayne Roberts by 1. Gives us an overall margin. Deer Park just snuck in front by 1.
If you saw Reece Jeffs there, he banged his foot on the ground 2 or 3 times, said, I want a bowl here.
Yeah.
Because I reckon they're holding 3 in that head, Deer Park.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Well, Ryan Tainton has... Yeah, that's difficult to describe. That missed by a long way, collected a short bowl, and's come in and moved the jack to be...
They're holding 1 still, but...
2 up to 1 up. Yikes. He'll want that one back, safe to say.
Maybe it's made it harder to get shot now too. You just don't know from this angle.
Yeah, Dicko, we just couldn't leave this one as much as we apologise for where the cameras are. I mean, we really don't have much say over that. We're showing the best angles that we can. And we're trying to describe it as best we can, albeit we're a long way away. So glad that we can provide the coverage to you.
Still think there's chances here for Winston if he gets it right. Jack going back a yard or so, 2 yards.
Well, particularly now that it's opened up a little bit. I think he's wanting it to move right. I don't think it's going to from there. One down, which in essence they got saved a shot there, so nonetheless it's a victory on that rink to Ryan Tainton, 16-14, which gets the overall board to 69-67. So this last end is underway in the James Pearce v Wayne Roberts battle. They've had a good battle.
Yarraville Footscray is currently holding shot, I'm pretty sure.
Josh Barry's bowl coming down now. He's on the run. Likes it. Oh, I think it's done enough.
Good bowl, Joshy Barry.
It was almost a pause from the Deer Park players thinking, oh, I don't think it's going to, and then it just got there. Di Gardner saying great Friday night entertainment. There's no doubt about that. Very good way to spend your Friday night. For those of you at home that couldn't get here tonight and of casting this onto your big screen TV, what a night. Good to see arguably the greatest player of all time, Alex Marshall. And our cracker finish. With a bit of feeling in this one. David Holtz. Bowl coming through and finishing it not a bad home.
Yeah, not a bad home. Deer Park guys would need another bowl on the head.
Yep.
And that's why I reckon the way Wayne's calling the head, Jeff come down on his backhand, try and land Josh Barry's bowl out of the head or land his own, and could do what they're after.
I like this. Nathan Bush just stalking the green. Well outside, but obviously coming down just to see. And if they need any hands, need anyone to say what shot's on, he's there to help out. Annie Dunwoody's joined us. Friday morning for some. Well, I hope you're celebrating on a Friday morning over there, Annie. Good to hear from you. I hope you're well. A big shout out to anybody who's sitting in their club. Might have had a bit of practice tonight or down for a few social ones. I'm watching the stream. Big shout out to all of you. John Walker saying a wealth of knowledge in the with Wayne Roberts in the game. That is absolutely spot on. A very experienced campaigner. David Holt with plenty of experience as well. Well, they like it. Just promotes the Josh Barry bowl. If there was any doubt over shot, there's no longer.
Gives them another one, the head two-tone, which is what they want when you hold them, when you're in the front.
Spot on, Gordon Thompson. You could throw a blanket over half a dozen teams, I reckon, at the moment. No matter which one we get, we're going to be absolutely wrapped. We'll see a very high standard of bowls here in the BCIB Metropolitan Premier Division final. Of course, played at Dandenong Club in due course. Well, it was a good effort at it. Obviously, JT, there's their Rink score here, but they're 2 shots down overall, so making one just isn't going to cut it.
No.
Kind of, it's at that stage of the night where no matter what happens, you're going to feel sorry for a team here, aren't you?
It's been a cracker match.
It really doesn't deserve to be somebody as a runner-up.
It was definitely worth coming down and viewing, Tone.
Absolutely. Long way to come for you from Swan Hill. I'm very glad to have you here. James Pearce on the mat. James Pearce is a heck of a underrated player.
Quite unassuming, but yeah, he gets the job done.
We saw him going back the other way. Just doesn't get too excited, plays the shot, gets the result. Everyone's going crazy around him, but keeps his composure the whole time.
It's probably funny that Wayne's very similar to him as well.
Yep. So Hanks on the mat.
Looking to disturb the head.
Pulled away from it, doesn't like it, it's narrow. Had the weight right. Now here comes the tactical consideration.
The blocker.
Could be. I mean, David Holt, very experienced campaigner at 3. They'll be looking at this, trying to find all the combinations of not how they can get the shot, how they can lose the shot.
We'll just, you know, again, we're not saying no, it's hard to tell whether if there's any danger or not, but
played 83 ends of an 84 end match. It's 2 shots the difference overall. You can see the ladder on the screen there. Of course, James Pearce won't be thinking about the ladder with Deer Park on top. He'll be thinking about how can I make sure we don't let Yarraville score 2. James Pearce actually just then ran and let out a little bit of excitement. I think that's the first time I've seen that.
So I reckon well, he said nothing all night, Jimmy, so don't know what he's thinking. He's been pretty quiet.
Ryan Lloyd-Jones, just to let you know, mate, we actually streamed a different rink. This rink we're streaming now is the final end or 2. But we couldn't move the cameras over. We're actually streaming a different rink, but it's just been such a cracking game. We can't possibly leave this, so we are a bit limited in the camera angle. We're doing our best to try and describe it, but it is pretty hard from where we're situated to be able to see.
I'm back in a full-blooded drive here, Tone, as quick as Wayne can go, or roundabouts. Just hope something will happen for him.
Wayne is on the mat, sending it down with weight. Needs to hit and hope. Well, there's contact, there's movement. No one seems too excited. Deer Park go 1 down by the look of that signal. Oh, 1 up.
1 up.
They just changed that signal, so. Yeah, look, no one seems overly keen. They're shaking hands, so it is a victory to Deer Park. We will just get... It was 1 to Deer Park, so that's 17 apiece on the James Pearce.
They're just measuring.
Yep,
1.
definitely 1. So 17 apiece to James Pearce and Wayne Roberts. What an absolute cracking affair. We've had a draw with Alex Marshall and Brett Marnie, 17 apiece. You've just seen the draw between James Pearce and Wayne Roberts, 17 apiece. Ryan Tainton eked out a victory 16-14 over Winston Brackley. And Mark Casey got the job done over Nelson Ball by the slenderest of margins, a 1-shot victory, which means overall this is a 70-67 victory to Deer Park in what's been an absolute belter of affair in the first match of this round 11 BCIB Melbourne Premier Division match. The stream tonight was brought to you by Moama. As we said, other matches this weekend. It is a double-header weekend for Premier Division and Division 1. All at 1 p.m. tomorrow. Altona v Clayton, Bundoora v Croydon, Lilydale v MCC, Melbourne v Mentone, and then the second half of the double-header is on Sunday. Mentone v Croydon in what will be an absolute cracking affair, JT.
Yes.
The winner of that is looking to avoid relegation on the current standings. Melbourne v Altona in the grand final replay. MCC v Deer Park. Yarraville Footscray against Bundoora RSL. And then the final match of round 12 will be played on Friday night with Clayton v Lilydale. Our thanks to Moama Bowls Club for the stream. BCIB, of course, for sponsoring the Premier Division. And JT for gracing us with his presence. And, of course, Brad from SEN making sure that we can get you the pictures tonight. We've really appreciated everybody being your comments and your taking part of tonight's affair. Enjoy the rest of your Friday night. Have a great weekend and good luck to everybody playing tomorrow.
Thanks, Tone.